What did I just witness on Monday Night Football? Titans kinda looked good, especially on offense. Is it a dream? If it's a dream, someone needs to pinch me right now. All right, thank you for joining me this morning, this evening, whatever time of day it is when you decide to start watching the Titan Bros video here today. I guess we'll address the elephant in the room. Obviously, Josiah's not here. It was a Monday night game. He works the night shift, so is not able to make it. He did message me to tell everyone that he loves all of you. So there's your special message from Josiah. So it's just going to be me tonight, and it's probably going to be a shorter video than normal because it's already midnight, and I have to be up in about 5.5 hours. So it's going to be probably a smaller video. But I did want to do a recap on what did we just witness on Monday Night Football. This is the Titans team that got destroyed by the Browns. This is the Titans team that got swept by the Colts, both games coming at the hands of backup Gardner Minshew. This is the same Titans that lost in London to the Ravens. This is the same Titans team that just got beat a couple weeks ago by 14 points, 2 scores against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here the Miami Dolphins are basically in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed in the AFC. And they're home. And they host us. And we give them 7 points on the get-go with a nice little pick 6. And we decide to fumble it within our own 20 on a pump play. Eric Garr, what are you doing? And we decide to do another turnover in our own back of the end zone, basically, or back on our side of the field with a high and behind toss to Henry. And you're telling me we won? If you were to tell me before the game that Derrick Henry would only have 2 yards on the dot, only 2 yards per carry, only 34 yards, if you were to tell me we would turn the ball over 3 different times, twice on offense, once in special teams, if you were to tell me all of that, I would tell you that we got slaughtered, destroyed, just like I predicted at the beginning of the video. Or I guess in my preview video, I mean. Titans win it 28-27. What is going on? I can't believe it. And I haven't seen this kind of juice. I was already saying a long time, but honestly, you kind of felt that juice against the Falcons a couple weeks ago. But here's what I want to say. We're now 5-8. We're 13 games into the season. Where was this a long time ago? If we would have been putting this kind of stuff on film earlier, I don't think we'd be 5-8 right now. We could have flipped that bad boy around. We could be like 8-5. Too little, too late, I guess. I'm a little ashamed. I'm a little bit ashamed because a week or two ago, I don't remember which loss it was, whether it was the Colts or the game before that, I had for the first time since the year of 2014 publicly stated that I wanted us to lose out. I was done. I was thinking, we're not going to win out. And even if we did, we don't really have a shot at the playoffs. We have to win out, plus other things have to happen. And while that's still true, I did officially jump off the let's make a push train. Still off it, by the way. Because I'm thinking we could really get us a top 5 pick. Giants end up beating the Packers, so that even helped the whole situation. There were a lot of upsets this week. But as a Titans fan, it's hard not to get excited about that. And it's one of those situations where sometimes people, especially young people, just need to see that a win is possible. They just need to get a win under their belt. Would it have been almost sort of in some ways nice to lose out and then us go like 3-14 on the season and then have a top 2, top 3 pick plus $100 million in cap space? Would that have probably been really nice on paper for us? It's 100%, but these aren't robots. These are people. These are people. And the confidence that this kind of stuff can build, that can go a long way. And honestly, that might take us farther next year than just a pick that's, 5-6 slots better, if that makes any sense. So that's my input. I still think, we're not making any kind of a playoff push. That ship has sailed. Even if we were to win out, we'd be 9-8 and would need other teams to lose. For some reason, the Broncos are just coming in red hot. And the Browns keep winning. And so the playoffs, I'm not talking playoffs. But it's just nice to see your young stars shine. That's kind of the way I want to put it. I want to just go over some of these stats here for a few minutes. Now, I'm going to give Josiah a small victory, and then I'm going to trump on him later with a couple player analysis here. He's kind of, ever since the 2020 season, when Derrick Henry rushed for 2,000 yards, Josiah's basically every single carry since then. So the entire 2021, 2022, and 2023 season, Josiah's like, oh, he's lost his step. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, we need to get rid of him. And every time he makes a bad play, he looks over at me like, did you see that? That's terrible by Henry. He's basically, I don't want to say he's a Henry hater. That's kind of harsh, but it's kind of realistic. But Henry, I'll tell you right now, we didn't block worth a darn when it comes to run blocking. But Henry did not run good this week, which was sad because I think last week was his best yet. He only barely topped 100 yards, but he also didn't play it most of the fourth quarter because he got taken out with that head injury, which was really odd because they said he was in concussion protocol, and then Vrabel said no, he wasn't. He just hurt his head, and then Derrick Henry said, they just wouldn't let me go back in, so I trusted them, and yada yada yada. So it was just a weird situation. But anyways, Derrick Henry ran hard. He ran real hard. Even if there wasn't a hole, he just ran hard and fast, straight into it. I liked it. But this week, he looked like a man who's a couple weeks from turning 30. He didn't look good. He didn't look explosive. He did have 2 touchdowns. That's 3 weeks in a row now that he's had 2 touchdowns. So that is nice. And if we do let Henry walk, we're going to miss having somebody where if you're on the 4-yard line, just how many times did we see it? This is why Mariota didn't throw for a lot of touchdowns a lot of seasons. This is why Tannehill didn't always throw for a lot of touchdowns. And this is why Will Levis has really not been throwing a lot of touchdowns. If we have the ball within the 5-yard line, we just give it to Henry. He just pounds it in there. We've seen it so many times. Like I said, 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks from the King. So he did have that nice, I think it was a 17-yard catch. He back shoulder jumped, high pointed. I didn't even know he had those kind of hops. But I'm like, why are you waiting until possibly your 5th to last game with us to finally show that you can actually do something like that? Because they didn't even really try to cover him. I guess they didn't, the defense didn't really know he could do it either. But anyways, Tajay Spears was okay as a runner, but Tajay Spears was elite in the passing game. He was 6 catches for 89 yards. That's 14.8 a reception. That's fantastic. And even though I didn't think that was the need that we needed, that was a little redundant. That wasn't the need we needed in the 3rd round. We needed O-line help. We need cornerback help, wide receiver help. So I was like, why did we just draft a running back? But, he's looking good. I'm liking what I'm seeing, especially in the passing game. What else we have here? Hopkins. That's one person I just want to jump on the train for. I was all in on bringing Julio Jones in. I was so excited when we signed him. Or I guess we traded for him, but still. And that didn't work out. That did not work out one little bit. And the year before that, Jadeveon Clowney, I was all in. I thought we had a pretty dang complete roster, minus a needed edge rusher, which our defense ended up being awful that year. Our offense was good. That was the 2020 season where, Tannehill played out of his mind and Henry had 2K and all that. It was our defense that was awful. So little did I know, we actually needed way more than just a edge rusher. But I was all in on Clowney, and it didn't work out. He got some pressures, but he ended up getting no sacks and then got hurt and missed basically the back half of the season. But DeAndre Hopkins broke a lot of curses. There's the curse of everybody we get that wears the number 10 is no good, like Dez Fitzpatrick, like Adam Humphries, Trey McBride, I think he wore jersey number 10. We just don't have good number 10s in Tennessee. But by golly, D-Hop broke that curse, and he broke in bringing the veteran receiver that comes in, like Hall of Fame receiver who's at the end of their career that we bring in. He broke that curse as well, because not only did Julio Jones not work out, Eric Decker didn't really work out either. Randy Moss did not work out. Andre, blanking on his name, Andre Johnson did not work out. These are, now Eric Decker's not a Hall of Fame wide receiver, but the other ones are all Hall of Fame wide receivers. Bring them in when they're in the 30s. They're awful, and it's kind of shameful. D-Hop is not it. As the kids say, he is still him. He had a touchdown with 7 receptions, 124 yards, and there was at least that one 18-yarder that he also caught that's not going to count to his stats because somebody didn't set before they got called into motion, which sometimes I think about rules like that. I'm like, why is this even a thing? Like, how is that giving you any advantage or disadvantage or anything? Because somebody didn't set before they got called into motion. I'm like, what? But it was like an 18-yarder, nice little out route to D-Hop that got erased. But anyways, D-Hop is still him, as the kids say. I think he has 6 touchdowns on the year, and he has 898 yards. So he only needs 102 yards to reach 1,000. We've got 4 games to go, so basically he needs about 26 yards a game, which a lot of times he's getting 26 yards in just a single catch, because I think it's the weirdest thing in the world. Me and Josiah talked about this. Mariota and Tannehill were good in the middle of the field between the hashes. They were not good on the outsides. That's where they love to throw their picks or just throw it out of bounds. Will Levis is the opposite. I feel like Will Levis kind of does some dangerous fast balls across the middle of the field that it's just not a good idea. But those out routes and those flag routes are just beauties. It's just beauties. He throws some beauties to good old Hop on those out routes. Nick Westbrook-Keenan was 2 for 28. Chris Moore was 1 for 22. It's their role. They're a good number 4 and 5 wide receiver, but sadly on this team they're a number 2 and 3. So that's where we're kind of having issues there. Phillips was active, but he was a big old nothing burger. Josiah disagrees with me on this one. Chigakonkwo needs to catch the ball. And one of his catches he had today, he bobbled. He bobbled it for no reason. But Chig's coming on. In the last 3 weeks, I think he had 62, 46, and 46 yards. So basically, if he did that all season long, he would be about 800 or 900 yards for the season, which for a tight end one, I'll take it. That's all I need. And then obviously the last person on offense I want to quickly address, because it looks like we're 14 minutes into the video, and I said it'd be a short one, and I'm still on offense. Will Levis. I like it. I like the way the kid plays. He plays hard. He plays aggressive. He does need to learn to slide a little bit, which I'm afraid we'll have some funny comments with words that I can't repeat on this podcast. But it was, the way he plays is just so aggressive. His energy is contagious. I can tell people want to play for him, with him, win for him, with him. DeAndre Hopkins called him a dog. I like the way he plays because like I like Mariota and I like Tannehill how they were just good, honest, kind people. But sometimes it just rubbed me the wrong way when it just be like another three and out, another nothing burger of a drive, and they just kind of, especially Mariota. I was a big Mariota lover, but like I would see that sounded weird. Anyways, I would see him just throw it incomplete, and we're down 3-17, and Mario just kind of just jogs over the sidelines. I'm like, he almost like he is so chill and calm and got the aloha vibes going that I apologize. He almost looked like he didn't care. And Tannehill, when he would throw it, just another stall drive, he'd just kind of be like, man, we gotta start scoring, man, and you just kind of go. But like Will Levis, I don't like crybabies like Mahomes kind of was this weekend after their loss to the Bills. But anyways, I don't want crybabies, but like Will Levis looks like he's passionate about the game. Now there may be times down the road where we're like, he's kind of being a baby. But like how just jacked up he was after that last touchdown that they scored. You love to see it. You love to see it. Plus that whole thing was just beautiful. We literally needed a touchdown and to stop them and to score a touchdown. That's the only way we would win. And guess what? We stopped them touchdown, and then we actually had to stop them again because we actually were scoring our touchdowns too quick when we had 4 minutes to score 2 touchdowns, which is insane. That's just insane. But anyways, that's all I have to say about the offense. But you got to give a shout to the defense. They allowed 27 points, but guess what? This was basically in most metrics they were number 1 or number 2. And that's passing, running, scoring, yards, all of it. All of it. And we only allowed 27 points. But you got to remember, they got 7 of them on a pick 6. So that wasn't even their offense. So their offense only scored 20 points. And then you got to remember there was the fumble in our own area. And then there was also stupid muffed punt. Eric Garrar, what are you doing? But anyways, so those are just 2 easy touchdowns. So did they ever have a time where they just drove all the way down the field and put up 7? Because we had our bend don't break there for a while. We did force a turnover against Tua on I think it was their first offensive drive because they pretty effortlessly went down the field. But then we got the old strip sack, which was nice to see. It was nice to see, but yeah, a lot of kudos to the defense, especially with Jeffrey Simmons, who a lot of people say is our best defensive player. But I'm just gonna go out and say it, and this is probably gonna give me some hate. I think Danico Autry might be our best defensive player. We've had him for 3 years. His first season with us, I think he got about 8 sacks. And then last year, he led our team with 9 sacks. This year, he's leading our team with 9 sacks. He's making $7 million a year. The dude blocked an extra point today. He gets his hands up and knocks down balls all the time. Jeffrey Simmons is stronger. Jeffrey Simmons is faster. And Jeffrey Simmons could very well be our best defensive player. But if he is, Danico Autry's right there. And I think I don't think we're bringing him back because he's 33. He'll be 34 next year. I think we're going to miss him. Everybody will say, whether it's offense or defense, you just need a guy to make that play. And so many times it's Autry. And this week, it was Autry. Like I said, he blocked the extra point. Not extra point, it was a field goal. He blocked the field goal. He didn't get any sacks, but he blocked the field goal. And that last play before the 4th and 2, where the Dolphins lost, Danico Autry hustled over there. And while the running back was, I think it was APAC, or whatever his name was. I think it was him. He was doing a whole bunch of dancing. And Danico Autry He just hustled over there, and he made the tackle. I think he helped make the tackle. I think him and Alshire, it might have been. We're going to miss him when he's gone. All right. Here's where I'm going to kind of tramped. I was just trying to say so many words. Trample and trance. I want to say trance. I don't want to trance anybody. I'm going to trample all over Josiah with this one, which speaking of which, he just messaged me and said, have you made the video yet? Oh, he just keeps on doing it over and over, which I'm not really sure why, because he's at work, so he can't watch anyway. But anyways, Harold Landry's back. He's back. He had 3 sacks. He's up to 8.5 sacks on the season. And I'll tell you, the first 6 weeks of the season, 5-6 weeks, he was useless. He was pointless. I knew he would be. And Josiah didn't want to hear it. This is the one I think I'm going to tell you right now. I'm right about this. He's wrong. Everybody will tell you, when you tear your ACL, the next year you're just not you. It's the year after that. And Josiah kept on saying, well, we had a full 365, so it should be this year. I told him, no, it's not going to be the very beginning from the get-go. I said, it's probably going to be the back half of the season. And by golly, am I right? Because I'm looking at his stats right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. His first 5 weeks, no sacks. The 2 games after that, he gets 3 combined. Then nothing, then a sack, then nothing. And then he had a half sack, and then 3 sacks. So he's back. Harold Landry's back. And if we can get somebody who's more consistent than Arden Key on the other side, that would be nice. Watch out. But, yeah, so Harold Landry's back, so decided to take that. I know you don't want him to be back, seemingly. Let's see if there's anybody else I wanted to highlight on the defense real quick. See, this is where Josiah's supposed to be talking so that I can find what I'm looking for so there's not dead air. Sean Murphy Bunting had an extremely up and down day. He'd do a penalty here, he'd allow the big thing here, but then he hurt Tyreek Hill, which, let's be honest, if he didn't do that, we wouldn't have won. But, oh, mercy. Arden Key had him another sack, which I think he had a half sack last week, and then a sack, I think, the week before that. So he's finally starting to get home a little bit. About time. Jaleel Johnson had the sack fumble, so good job there, Butter. I want to real quick, last thing I'll do on defense is I really quickly want to see what Arden Key's sack total for the season is. 5. He's got 5 so far. And yeah, it looks like the last 3 games he had a sack, a half sack, and a sack. So it's about time he starts getting some sacks. Because that's what our defense was supposed to do. So, great win. Great win. And like I said, even if it screws up our draft, I think the moral victory, the lessons that are learned, not the moral victory, because I always talk about, there are no moral victories, but like the confidence that it builds, and it shows these people you can win, you can be down 2 scores with 4 minutes left and still win the game. A lot of valuable lessons were learned. Now, I do want to close the video by tooting my own horn because I had said that I think it's going to be, I think I said 21-27 is what I think I said. No, I think it was 20-26. I said 20-26, and we're like, oh, if we can get the ball back and score and go up 27-26, we can win. Or I might have been 27, something like that. And it was like, and we could tie it up or even win, get a point or so ahead of them. That'd be great. But then they'll have like a long play to Tyreek Hill that ices the game. So it ends up being like 33-20. So it looks like it's not even close, but in actuality, it was close. That whole situation, I painted up almost down to the same score, is exactly what happened. The only difference is Tyreek Hill was hurt. He played some, but he was still hurt. So they didn't make that last ice the game type score, and we got the ball back and actually went down there and scored. So not to toot my own horn, because you know what? If Tyreek Hill would have been healthy, maybe he would have had that game icing play. So yeah. I believe that's all I got. Thanks for checking us out. By us, I mean me. Thanks for checking me out today on the video by myself. Josiah should be back with me on Friday night / Saturday morning to preview the Texans game, which we might win because CJ Stroud's come back down to earth a little bit. 1, 2, he's in concussion protocol at the moment. So we'll have to see how that goes. But that is all I have for you. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you in the next one. Peace out and all that jazz.